Jeremy Stone is here with me. He is an SVP for marketing for Titleist. He is holding the brand new Pro V1 golf balls in our hand. You heard me right, brand new Pro V1s for 2025, and we are super pumped to talk to you about this. Jeremy, we were having a conversation before we went on the air today, because I'm honest with you guys, and I'll tell you about it. I think the Pro V1 is applicable for everybody, but I think that there is a factor of people not understanding that while this is the best ball for the best players in the world, this is also the best ball for all players in the world. Let's get into the details why. Good to see you, my man. How you doing?
Great to see you. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
We're going to be on TV all day today, aren't we?
Sounds pretty good. I'm excited for it.
We'll be on here. We'll be on Golf Channel in a little while again. Let's talk about the Pro V1. What did you do? Why'd you do it?
Yeah, so Pro V1 and Pro V1x, they represent our very best options for golfers of all skill levels. As you mentioned, it starts with the best players in the world. What are they looking for? And what they told us over the last 2 years is we love the Pro V1 and Pro V1x. Often they say, don't change a thing. We're not wired that way. So what they did say, when you really pull it out of them, they say, gosh, you know what would be great? A little bit more short game spin, a little bit more iron spin. Tour players see spin as control.
Yes.
And so the question was, could we do that without impacting the incredible performance off the tee? So a reformulated core, it's a high gradient core that you see here.
Can you see this?
And a high gradient dual core. And so what we did is, due to the high gradient, we added some speed to both cores. And what's interesting about speed is, speed's good, gives you what you want off the tee, but it also gives us some spin. And that's an unknown element about golf ball construction, is all these pieces work together. And so when we added that speed, we added that spin, but the high gradient technology allowed us to keep the spin low in the long game to maximize distance.
It's unbelievable. I hope you guys were able to understand the stuff that Jeremy was talking about there, because these layers have reasons, and I want to go through it. First of all, I want to talk about the Pro V1. Could you talk to us about the profile? Steven, our ace cameraman, is shooting the cores of this as we're speaking. You brought us examples of the same. Could you talk to us about how this symphony of technology actually works?
Absolutely. So every layer of the golf ball is going to influence performance. If you change one, you might see performance changes through the bag. That's what makes golf ball fitting and construction so complex. Pro V1's a three-piece golf ball. You've got a core, we apply a casing layer that adds speed but also reduces some of the spin, and then we put a soft cast urethane cover over the golf ball, and that increases the spin, particularly greenside. The Pro V1 has 388 dimples designed and laid out so that we can optimize distance through the air. More of a mid-trajectory if you're thinking about different flight characteristics as opposed to Pro V1x, but each of these layers is going to be influential in different shot types. All the layers working together is how we create low spin off the tee, but maximize it greenside.
Beautiful. I would like you to do the exact same thing with the Pro V1x, and then I want to give you a heads up of where I would love to go with this. You started to allude to which ball is right for which player.
Certainly.
I'd like to go down that road. I'd like to go down the road of your stable and the best in the world and what they're using. But before we do that, I'm just telling you that in advance, my friend.
I love that.
First of all, let's go through the technical side of the Pro V1x, just like you did the Pro V1, so we understand what's under the hood.
Yeah, so Pro V1x, it's a dual core. You can see how we have multiple layers here, and what that allows us to do is Pro V1x spins more than Pro V1 into and around the greens, okay? Often misunderstood. This is the higher spinning golf ball with irons and wedges. But what the dual core allows us to do that you can see here is it allows us to create an even higher gradient. So higher gradient just means on the Pro V1, softer in the middle than it is on the outside. We can really accentuate that when you have two different core layers. You can make a really soft center, a slightly firmer outer. That takes spin out of the more high-speed shots like a driver, your fairways, your hybrids. So you can keep the spin down off the tee while adding it and increasing even more spin into and around the greens.
Oh my gosh, this is very, very cool. I hope you guys are digging this as much as we are getting into the technology, the Pro V1 and the Pro V1x. I just told you exactly where I'm going. The profiles of performance of these two respective balls. Can you broad brush it for me and say who's best suited for which? And let me tell you something before we go too far. I've been fitted for the Pro V1. You have to go through this process to do it yourselves. But I've played the Pro V1 forever and found out that I'm best suited for the Pro V1x because of the spin profile. But with that,
we did have some fun with you, Travelers Week, I think it was. And I'd encourage everybody to find a fitter, because that's the best way to go through this. But if you can't, right? So how do we do this as the average golfer, just saying which golf ball to play? I always tell everyone, start with Pro V1. It's going to deliver just about everything you're looking for. It's mid-flight, mid-trajectory. It's got really soft feel because of the solid core construction, and it's going to give you great greenside control. And then you can understand as you assess your game, okay, is my golf ball rolling off the back of the green, or am I sucking it off the front of a green when I hit an iron shot?
Yep.
Think about a 9-iron, a wedge. And now you can assess, okay, on my scoring shots, let's say you are having the ball roll off the back. I might go to a Pro V1x. It's going to give me higher flight, so it flies higher due to the aerodynamics. It also has more spin. It's going to create more lift, get the ball up in the air as well. That does two things. More spin, obviously more stopping power, so it'll stop on the greens faster. But the added height creates a steeper angle of descent. That also helps you stop the golf ball. So two elements are going to help you stop the golf ball here. And really what you want to do is fine tune it, because you might find with Pro V1, no, I'm spinning it too much. Then you might go to a Pro V1x left dash. That flies high, but it has even less spin than both of these products. So we really have something for everyone. Start with a Pro V1, assess how your game is reacting to the golf ball through the bag, prioritize the scoring shots, and then we can adjust from there.
What are the options for people that are interested in any of this in terms of making sure they're fit for the proper ball for their game?
Yeah, we have a growing array of options for a golfer. The simplest right now, you can go to Titleist.com. You can do our golf ball selector tool online. Self-service, it takes about 5 minutes, answer a couple of questions. We'll make a recommendation. But there's nothing better than hitting golf shots. And so we have a golf ball fitting app now. It's out. Any property that's utilizing TrackMan technology, they're going to be able to give you access to this fitting app. They can guide you through a process in as few as 12 swings, half wedge, full wedge, 7-iron driver. We're going to make a data-driven recommendation for your game based on what's going to help you score your best. And then we're going to ask you a little bit about the feel, because we know how important that preference is for confidence. So anywhere that has a TrackMan can run you through the golf ball fitting app. Really accessible option. At the top of the house, we do have 9 regional fitters running around that do a really in-depth 90-minute tour level fitting. Much more difficult to find access to that, but if you can, it's an extraordinary experience.
It really is extraordinary. Now, extraordinary golfers play each of these balls. I thought it'd be a fun place to finish here. Talk to us about the stable and who's playing what.
Yeah, so and I'll talk a little bit about who's playing what, but also the adoption rate on these new golf balls has been exceptional. We've got 4 wins around the world since we introduced it in the fall. These are the #1 models in play already on the PGA Tour. We're starting to roll out on the LPGA Tour now. It's been extraordinary. So you start thinking about who's playing these golf balls, right? You've got Cameron Young, who's more in a Pro V1 construction. You think about Cameron Young, high-speed guy, looking for control. He also prefers the soft feel of the solid construction. Then you start looking at a guy like Justin Thomas, had a really nice week last week. He's playing Pro V1x. The reason? He hits it high, but he's low spin as his launch conditions dictate. So he utilizes the golf ball to put some spin into his bag through the bag. So just 2 examples of how guys are looking for something. Cam Young looking for a flatter trajectory. Justin Thomas looking for more spin. That's how they're using the golf ball to help them maximize their performance.
It's awesome. You will see it across the globe. You will see it from the very best players in the world. And as I've been stressing, it is likely the very best golf ball for you. It's just a question of which one of the Pro V1 family, and you can find out specifically. Just get started the Pro V1, as Jeremy was discussing, get an idea of dynamics and performance, and then narrow it in from there. My friend, always good to see you.
Pleasure.
Good luck with the new golf balls. I know everything else that I saw over at Titleist yesterday is absolutely awesome.